Beery. After hatching, it turned out to be the most lewd ancient flying snake, so the girl wanted to kill the snake cubs every day. But the cubs grew increasingly dependent on their mother, until the mother, for 2 pieces of the poorest quality animal hides, personally sold the eldest and second born. Only then did the cubs become completely disappointed in their mother. Turns out being obedient and sensible couldn't awaken maternal love, because the mother never loved them in the first place. So the third-born personally pushed the mother off a cliff. This time, River had just woken up from unconsciousness. I think I might have killed the bad female. I just pushed her because I didn't want to get hit. I didn't really mean to kill her. It's just as well she's dead. Now, no one will ever hit us again. Why is there the sound of a child speaking? River felt a slight headache. Don't feel sorry for this bad female. Eldest brother and second brother worked for her every day and still got sold off. Keeping us around was just so she could hit and scold us. You 2 little brats. May I ask where this is? River spoke abruptly. Almost scared the souls out of these 2 kids. You actually aren't dead. The silver-haired child nearly fell on his behind. Don't you dare try to hit us again. I'm telling you, we're not afraid of you anymore. Bad female. Aren't you afraid we'll grow up and take revenge on you? Magnetic. Beast World. River felt a bit dazed for a moment. Isn't this exactly that Beast World novel she had read? Little brat. What are your names? And what is my name? Bad female, stop pretending with me. You still want to play the amnesia card? The cold-looking third little one didn't believe it at all. In contrast, the fourth little one seemed a bit timid and hesitant. I am Bay. He is. You are River, the bad female of the tribe who is dark, ugly, small, and weak. River lay back down on the spot. What a disaster, it really is transmigrating into a book. And even transmigrated into the biological mother of the ultra-masculine villain cubs. In the book, the original host dislikes snake beastmen. So from the start, she either beat or scolded the 4 cubs. She even sold 2 cubs for 2 pieces of shabby beast hide. The twisted personalities the cubs developed later can be said to be entirely because of her. And the first thing they did upon reaching adulthood was join forces to torture and kill their own biological mother. The 4th one broke her legs. The 3rd one broke her arms. The 2nd one gouged out her eyes. The eldest one pierced her heart with a single fatal stab. When she came to her senses, the 2 cubs were already gone. Only then did she remember to look around at her surroundings. But with just one glance, she almost vomited. Inside the filthy, messy cave, there was stinky poop and rotten lean meat everywhere. The only 2 pieces of beast hide beneath her were also disgustingly nauseating, too revolting to look at directly. She casually scraped at her face. It was a large piece of black mud that fell onto the animal hide. River was practically going crazy. In her previous life, no matter how destitute she was in the apocalypse, she never let herself become this filthy. Forget it. First check if her previous life's abilities are still there. Her head still ached faintly. Using her spatial ability was somewhat strenuous. Although the 1 square meter space wasn't large, it should be quite useful in the beast world. Next, she forced a small flower to grow in her hand. Good. Both wood element and spatial abilities are still there. At least they can ensure she won't starve to death in the beast world. After recovering a bit of energy, River found a few wilted sweet potatoes at the cave entrance, peeled, cut into pieces, and swallowed them whole. Only then did her sour stomach feel somewhat better. Compared to the desolation of the apocalypse, the greenery in the beast den was simply full of vitality. River calmly accepted this brand new future. But as soon as she turned her head and saw the filth in the cave, her somewhat little face immediately fell again. After simply tying branches into a broom, River endured the disgust, and little by little, cleaned the filth from the cave, taking advantage of the good sunlight. She also took to animal hides to the stream to wash. It took a full morning before the cave slowly gained a bit of fresh air. During that time, she also used her wood element ability to sense that the beast den not only had sweet potatoes, but also quite a few potatoes buried underground, unnoticed by anyone. Pretty good luck. I can roast potatoes for the two little ones at noon. But just as she was full of energy and ready to cook, River, the hunting team has returned from the hunt. Have your little ones come get the meat. Outside the cave was a male's rough voice. This tribe is called the Rock Village tribe. Most of the tribespeople are of the Bear Beast clan. Because females are far too scarce, so every time the hunting team returns from a hunt, even a female like her ugly, dark, lazy, and gluttonous would be taken good care of by the males of the tribe. But today, the little ones are not around. River could only obediently line up at the very back of the queue. River, you're a female, you don't need to queue. Just go to the front to get the meat. An elderly male in the crowd looked kind and gentle. In the apocalypse, women were a burden. Living supplies were always distributed last. She never expected that in this world, women would actually be the highest priority. River didn't put on any airs either. She straightforwardly walked to the very front. However, after getting the meat, she found it a bit strange. The beastman actually threw the bones and entrails on the ground. Excuse me, are you going to throw these things away? Of course. This season, prey is plentiful. Entrails and bones don't taste good. Besides throwing them away, there's no other use. River felt a craving. How long had it been since she last had bone broth? Probably counting from the day the apocalypse began. After obtaining the male's consent, River filled a pack with bones and offal using animal hide. It's just that the original owner was too gluttonous and lazy. Such a small load actually required resting after just a few steps. Although the males saw, they only discussed a few words. They simply didn't dare to step forward and help River. After all, she was just too ugly. What if they got entangled after helping? But today, this ugly female was a bit strange. When did she become so polite? River's space mostly contained common tools. After returning to the cave, she took out a lighter from it. Then she began preparations in front of the bonfire. The stone pot heated things very, very slowly. So she simply set up another bonfire beside it. One for rendering fat, then stir-frying potatoes and braising meat. One for slowly simmering a big bone soup over low heat. There was salt in the cave. Although not much, she still added some in. Today, she must make the two cubs look at her with new eyes. However, she waited until the sky turned dark. The two little brats, Zixi and Bye-Bye, still hadn't returned home. In the book, the original owner had already done many things that provoked public outrage. Plus, because of the animal hide, she sold Dong Dong and Nanan. After that, Zixi and Bye-Bye never gave her a good look. So the way the two cubs treated River before, she actually didn't think it was the cubs' fault. On the contrary, as the moon rose higher and higher, she even started to worry a bit about the safety of the two cubs. In the end, she decided to leave the cave and call out loudly along the way. After all, they are two major villains. It shouldn't be that something unexpected happens now, right? Just as she was anxiously searching everywhere, a cold voice suddenly came from the tree. Bad female, what are you howling about? It's very scary in the middle of the night, don't you know? River's heart finally settled down. Third child, you little brat. What are you running around for in the middle of the night? I've cooked and waited for you for a long time. You're the brat. We're snake cubs. Bad female, we know you don't like us. You don't have to say it every day. As little third spoke, he suddenly paused. Little fourth, do you know what a little brat is? River, having read the original work, certainly knew. A little rabbit is the long-eared beast in the forest. Hearing this, Little Third's eyes rolled around. We were just watching a show in the woods. A long-eared beast crashed into a tree trunk and died. River's eyes immediately lit up. Where is that long-eared beast? Did you bring it back? If there's another fat rabbit, that would be so delicious. Do you really want it? If you want it, we'll take you to get it. River ultimately couldn't resist the temptation of delicious food. But the further she went, the more she felt something was wrong. Third, fourth. Maybe we should just go back. I don't really want to eat the long-eared beast anymore. Who knew that? As soon as she finished speaking, Little Third suddenly turned around and glared at River with crimson vertical pupils. The letter in her mouth was still making a hissing sound. River's blood instantly ran cold. How could I forget that these two brats are the snakes she fears most? It's right here. You take it yourself, we're going home. By the time River snapped out of her shock, the two brats had long vanished without a trace. River thought to herself, this is bad. She had lived 2 lifetimes, yet she actually believed a story like waiting by a tree for a rabbit. These two brats were clearly toying with her. Meanwhile, the two cunning little snakes had already returned home. Once home, a third began roaring with laughter. I'm dying of laughter. That stupid female is in for big trouble. I don't believe her terrible sense of direction can find the way back home. But little fourth, who was also laughing, suddenly froze. Third brother, stop laughing for a moment. Look, did we walk into someone else's house? At that moment, there wasn't the slightest foul smell in the cave. Instead, it was replaced by a clean, refreshing fragrance. Even in a crack in the wall, a few beautiful little flowers were stuck. The bonfire in the center of the cave was still burning. Steaming bone broth bubbled and churned. Only then did little fourth remember the bad female's words earlier. Third brother. Could this really be the meal the bad female made for us? After little third took a skeptical bite. Even if she made it, she definitely has ulterior motives. Immediately after, the two brats suddenly started devouring the food ravenously. Gotta say, the food the bad female makes is really delicious. But as they ate, little third had another thought. Hey bae, tell me. That bad female couldn't be thinking of selling us too, could she? I knew that bad female wouldn't be so kind-hearted. It's not like she hasn't tried to sell me before. If it weren't for my face being disfigured and hard to sell. An unprecedented hatred appeared on little third's face. Cold-blooded snake beastmen are unwelcome wherever they go. Even their own mothers don't care about them. Thinking of the fate that awaited their snake lives, the two cubs suddenly couldn't eat anything more. They silently squatted in the corner, waiting the final arrangement of their fate. Meanwhile, deep in the forest, River was looking at the white tiger before her, her legs going weak. It was easy to get lost in the forest to begin with. And on top of that, she was unfamiliar with the place. She had actually wandered into the territory of this colossal creature, standing a full 5 or 6 meters tall. Not fainting outright was thanks to her past life of fighting zombies. Once she regained her senses, she turned and ran. As she ran, she strained to activate her space. Firearms and such were barely sufficient against zombies, but clearly inadequate against such a behemoth. At the critical moment, she finally tore an opening in her space. Blood drop ring, a weapon as fine as a strand of hair. Without hesitation, River used wood element entanglement on the giant tiger, pouncing towards her. Then, taking advantage of its stumble, she swiftly strung the blood drop ring between 2 trees. The great white tiger, having gotten back up, flew into a rage. Then it charged fiercely towards that despicable female. But the next moment, it suddenly lost all its strength. Because the blood droplet had already sliced through its entire neck, River rested under the tree for quite a while. The combat power in the beast world was completely different from what she had imagined. A single beast possessed such terrifying and formidable strength. How strong must the males who could hunt beasts so easily be? After regaining a bit of strength, she skillfully set up a bonfire. From her space, she pulled out a lighter and a bag of salt. However, the tiger meat was a bit tough and not very tasty. After taking a few bites, Hewlin didn't dare to stay too long. Yet, just moments after she left, a snow-white hawk flew to the side of the bonfire. Muxio had watched the little female's entire operation from start to finish. To be honest, he was quite pleasantly surprised by her uniqueness. Leaving aside that she was dark, small, and ugly. Just the fact that she alone had slain a forest tiger. A creature even green gold beastmen would struggle against. And what was that thing she held in her hand earlier? With a click, a flame shot out from it. Moreover, the meat the little female roasted smelled really delicious. To think such a special female existed in this forest. It's just a pity she's too ugly. He would never marry such an ugly female. River ran all the way until dawn before finding her home. This time, she was truly filled with anger and resentment. She had kindly cooked for them. Yet they had abandoned her in such a terrifying forest. This is my first time being a mom, too. Why should we always give in to you? After entering the cave in a furious rage, that anger gradually subsided upon seeing the little ones. The two little ones were leaning against the corner of the wall, hugging each other, asleep. Their pitiful little appearance made her heart ache terribly. But why sleep on the ground when there's a bed? You two bad kids, get up. Zixi and Bye had already heard the commotion. They just couldn't be bothered to pay attention to the bad female. After all, weren't they going to be beaten and sold off today anyway? They were already used to being beaten, okay? You two bad little ones. Why aren't you sleeping in bed? The fourth little one thought he had misheard, staring at River with wide, incredulous eyes. The third little one, however, seemed to have heard a very funny joke. Wasn't it you, this bad female, who wouldn't let us sleep in bed? Who allowed you to keep calling me bad female, one after another? I am your mother. From now on, you are only allowed to call me mother. Zixi and Bye were stunned. Did the bad female's brain get fried last night? Leaving mother in the forest in the middle of the night. Do you know I even encountered a fierce tiger yesterday? Do you know you almost got me killed? The third little one immediately jumped up to deny it. Absolutely impossible. We only left you in the safe zone. Unless you took the wrong path yourself and wandered into the forest. Hearing this, River was truly taken aback. It seemed she really had been the one running around blindly in the middle of the night. But so what? It's not right to leave mother in the small forest either. Look at the wounds on my body. And when I ran away, my animal skin skirt got torn. I clean for you. Make food. Is this how you treat your mother? Bad female. Then what do you want? Little Fourth felt a bit guilty from being told off. Don't call me bad female anymore. From today on, you are only allowed to call me mother. It was you who didn't let us call you mother. It was also you who didn't let us sleep on the bed. Have you forgotten all these things yourself? It seems she really wasn't in the right. But it doesn't matter. She'll just fill in the holes left by the original owner. Everything said before doesn't count anymore. From today on, you'll sleep on the bed with me at night. Also, you need to apologize to me for last night's incident. I don't want to sleep with you. Little Third was still hopping mad. But Little Fourth suddenly backed down at this moment. Sorry. Last night, we just wanted to scare you. We didn't mean for you to be in danger. Bay, why are you apologizing to this bad female? Bay remained silent and didn't speak again. After returning last night, he had already started to soften. A clean and tidy home. And the hot soup bubbling on the bonfire. This made Bay experience warmth for the first time. The bad female really seems different from before. He hopes this difference can continue forever. But Little Third was truly angry. He suddenly hugged the leftover potatoes from yesterday and turned to leave. Little Fourth thought for a moment. Then also hugged a few potatoes, eating while chasing after him. River wanted to chase them, but simply had no strength left. Forget it. They'll come back naturally once they've figured things out. However, she didn't sleep for long. Sleeping on just a single animal hide was a bit too hard. Not far from the cave, there were many dried grasses after withering. So under the scorching sun, she huffed and puffed, busy in the field for half the day. After 2 hours of exposure to the blazing sun, She finally spread the soft, dried grass beneath the animal hide. Right after finishing, a commotion suddenly erupted outside. It seemed there were also the voices of two little ones. Under a large tree not far away, a tall, hefty male was dragging two little ones. On the ground were scattered a few sweet potatoes, still covered in soil. Unwanted, cold-blooded snake beast. Out stealing my family's things again. Seeing this, River rushed forward. Stop. Who said you could touch my little ones? Bear Nye looked at River with some surprise. River was famously the tribe's bad female. Lazy and wicked, usually paying no attention to her own offspring at all. River saw the two little ones struggling desperately. But Bear Nye remained completely unmoved. So without a second thought, she stepped forward and grabbed Bear Nye's hair. I said let go of my little ones, can't you hear? River, are you sick? It was your two cubs who stole my things. After the two cubs were released, they immediately stayed far away from both of them. Because before, this bad female never cared about them. If they ever got into trouble, the bad female would definitely side with others and beat them. River helplessly twitched the corner of her mouth. Two bratty kids. But for now, she still had to deal with the person who bullied the cubs first. She grabbed Zhong Nai's hair and yanked hard, pinning the fat male to the ground. River, are you crazy? It was your cubs who stole my red ground fruit. I beg you to be reasonable. Hearing this, River glanced at her own cubs, especially the youngest, whose eyes were full of anger. My cubs did not steal your ground fruit. I believe them. My red ground fruit was placed on the leaves outside the cave. I left for just a moment, and when I came back, it was gone. And right then, your cubs were holding the red ground fruit. If it wasn't them, then who else could it be? Besides, everyone knows your Zixi and Bye Bye are thieves. Hearing this, Zixi and Bye Bye's faces turned grim, but they offered no explanation. It seemed they had long grown numb to such slander. River felt she had to prove the innocence of her two cubs. So she walked over to the green leaves outside Zhong Nai's cave, gently placed her hand on the leaves, and carefully sensed. There was indeed a residual scent of red ground fruit. Then she crouched on the ground for a detailed observation. She could still faintly make out some remaining plum blossom footprints. Seeing this, Zhong Nai was somewhat puzzled. Could it really not be she and Bei, the two little thieves? River paid no attention to the silly bear. She went off on her own, following the direction of the footprints, to give chase. After pushing aside the grass, there were clearly several little bear cubs munching on sweet potatoes. They were the cubs of the Beery family from their bear beast clan. River glared fiercely at Zhong Nai. Apologize to my Shi and Bei. I will never apologize to cold-blooded beastmen. It's not just once or twice they've stolen things. Even if they didn't steal from me, that doesn't prove they haven't stolen from others. River was already very displeased. For an adult, after all, to actually slander two cubs only a few years old. Are you sure you won't apologize? I won't apologize. I absolutely will not apologize to cold-blooded snake beastmen. River directly threw a punch right into the fat bear's face. Even though Zhong Nai was several sizes bigger and stronger than River, he was completely pinned to the ground and beaten up by River. After beating the fat bear into a swollen mess, she then pulled the two kids over from the distance. Apologize. Otherwise, I'll keep beating you until you do. Zhong Nai was so wronged he started crying. Not only were the sweet potatoes he worked hard to dig up today gone, but he also got beaten up by the most useless female. I'm sorry, all right? After saying that, he then turned and ran away, sniffling. Little Lao San coldly watched all of this. Then he looked at Bei in disbelief. You say, has the bad female's brain gone bad too? Little Lao Si is also feeling dizzy and confused right now. I have heard that some females can be possessed by evil spirits. Otherwise, how can we explain the bad female suddenly becoming so nice? She actually, unprecedentedly, trusted them unconditionally. What are you two babbling about? Come home with me quietly. Little Lao San had an expression that said, just as I expected, clearly saying, see? You still have to come home and get a beating, right? You can escape the morning, but not the noon. A bad female is just a bad female. After returning home, the two cubs habitually leaned against the corner of the wall, silently waiting for the bad female's thunderous rage. However, the bad female did not pay any attention to them. Instead, she casually started a bonfire, then threw yesterday's leftover emperor's fruits into it. Fire is a sacred existence in the beast world. Except during thunderstorms that can cause heavenly fire, they have always eaten raw food. I told you the bad female is possessed. She can actually control divine fire. River also roasted some of yesterday's leftover meat, then sprinkled salt and flavor-enhancing pepper on it. You two, come and eat. The two little ones still remained unmoved, leaning against the corner. River didn't mind anymore. Villainous cubs have their own temperaments. Anyway, she wasn't in a hurry to succeed. She ate a potato by herself and went out. The 2 hours in the cave were filled with mutual glances of disbelief. They actually didn't get beaten. Then the two immediately pounced on the food and wolfed it down. The barbecue was a bit hot on the mouth, but precious salt had actually been added inside. It was simply too delicious. By the time River returned carrying a large piece of wood, the two little ones were so full they were sitting on the ground rubbing their little bellies. The wood was for making a wooden bucket. She really couldn't stand being filthy all day. But how to carve the wood was a problem. Bad female, what are you thinking about? Little Third suddenly spoke. I want to hollow out the middle of this wooden bucket, but I don't have any tools I can use. Don't you have a snake scale? It should have been left for you by the father beast. River hurriedly rummaged through the cave. Sure enough, she found a brightly colored scale. But how to put it? This scale was actually a whole circle larger than her palm. Then how big must the original beast forms of the four little ones be? The sharp scale carved the wood as if it were tofu. In a few minutes, she had made 2 buckets, one large and one small. The small one for fetching water, the large one for bathing. After finishing this, she made several more trips to the stream, several trips back and forth, before she finally managed a large bucket of water. Little Third, come take a bath. I'm not washing. No bath, no dinner tonight. Little Third grunted and said nothing more. Aren't they just the same few tricks over and over? Little Fourth, you come wash. Little Fourth hesitated for a moment, then obediently walked over. Zixi couldn't believe her eyes. Bye-bye, what are you doing? But it was all too late. Little Fourth had already been pressed into the bucket by the bad female. After a round of scrubbing, the milky sweet by Little Shota was simply adorable to the point of explosion. Little Fourth was made shy by his mother's gaze. He hurriedly picked up the animal skin on the ground, intending to put it on. But at that moment, he was stopped by River. Little Third immediately flew into a rage. You really are a bad female after all. Only know how to bully the honest. Do you also plan to humiliate him because of this? The snake has an extra something in a certain place. The cubs suffered no small amount of ridicule because of this when they were young. So the bad female stopping bye-bye from putting on clothes made Zixi think she intended to use this to humiliate her brother. You're overthinking it, Zixi. I just wanted to wash Bye-Bye's little animal skin. After using a small piece of animal skin to dry, Will Fourth, River directly tucked the cub into the animal skin bedding. The dry grass from the day had been neatly spread underneath. It was soft and fluffy, incredibly comfortable. Little Third was starting to feel a bit envious of his brother. If he had obediently listened, would he also? Afterwards, the female used the remaining water to give herself a thorough wash as well. She was simply filthy beyond measure. After washing off a thick layer of mud crust, the water in the bucket had all turned black. It took a full 3 buckets of water. The girl finally gave herself a thorough wash from head to toe. Beneath the thick layer of mud was unexpectedly milky white skin. Her delicate, petite features were surprisingly quite beautiful. The two little ones had long been standing there dumbfounded. If it weren't for being able to recognize her by scent, they might even think the bad female in front of them had been swapped out. Just as River was about to go out to hang the clothes, the youngest suddenly blocked her path. "You're not allowed to go out." "That's strange. Why won't you let me go out?" The youngest avoided her gaze, unwilling to answer. "Mother, if you go out like this, something will happen." The little pretty boy in the bed betrayed them again. But in the end, it was the youngest who gave the reason. The rock tribe they belonged to had over 800 males, but there were only 17 female beastmen. Forget about before. But if you go out like this now, who knows how many males would want to have babies with you? Do you really want to take in a few males for yourself? It was only today that the two little ones realized why their legendary, formidable wandering snake beast father had chosen this bad female as his mate. River was terrified. "I don't want any males. I can raise you all plump and healthy all by myself." The frowning youngest gritted his teeth and stomped his foot. "Bad female, you go rest first. Wasn't hanging the clothes always my job before?" River was a bit troubled. "But we can't just stay in the cave forever, can we?" After thinking for a while, she had a sudden idea. First, she used eyeshadow to paint her face a yellowish-brown color. Then, she used eyeliner to cover her face with freckles. "Hey, bae, now, and go out like this, right?" Little Fourth stared at his mother for a long time, his face flushed. Finally, he stammered and nodded. There wasn't much food left at home today, so River set her sights on the red ground fruit. "Bae, can we eat the red ground fruit today?" "Bad female, you answer my question first. Why didn't you suspect us during the day? And why were you so sure we didn't steal the red ground fruit? Why shouldn't I believe you? You are the children I gave birth to." "Because we are thieves. We are cold-blooded beastmen. The whole tribe calls us that." River thought that perhaps these were the reasons that gradually turned them into antagonists against the world. "You are my children, of course I believe you. And I won't allow anyone to bully my babies either. Also, I've said it many times. Don't call me bad female anymore. Call me mother." Little Third still snorted disdainfully. "Mother." After hesitating, Little Fourth actually called out. Little Third was utterly shocked. All he saw in his younger brother was betrayal. But ever since yesterday, the bad female in front of him seemed to have really changed. She became just like the gentle mother he had fantasized about. He finally heard Bae calling out "Mommy" in a soft, milky voice. This made River overjoyed. He picked up Bae and gave him a wild round of cuddles and kisses. At dinner, he made Liang Jiaoji, one dish and one soup. The dish was baked red fruit. The soup was also boiled red fruit. But when it was time to eat, he refused to come over and stayed far away. Little Third one. "Come over and eat." "I'm not coming. You just said this morning you wouldn't let me eat dinner." "I was talking nonsense. Come here quickly." He was also extremely hungry. But when he came over, he was still a bit awkward and reluctant. "These are the red fruits I dug up myself anyway." "Yes. Since you dug them, you should eat more." After eating, the two little ones played for a while. Then, as usual, they prepared to go sleep in the corner of the cave. Seeing this, River flew into a rage. "You two brats really know how to make me angry. Won't you get cold sleeping on the ground? Why won't you sleep in a perfectly good bed?" Then she grabbed the obedient little Bae and put him into the bed. But when it came to the Little Third one, he absolutely refused to get on the bed. "Bad female, let go of me. Even if I freeze to death, it has nothing to do with you." Angry, trembling, cold. After that, River simply let him be. She covered herself and Bae with the blanket and fell fast asleep. Snake beasts have strong night vision. Bae had never been as comfortable as he was now. A soft bed with a fragrant mom on it. Even if mother is lying to him now, even if mother sells him off tomorrow, at least at this moment, he is happier than ever before. River could feel Bye-Bye clutching her clothes, as if afraid she would run away. But she could only silently twitch the corner of her mouth. Let him grab whatever he wants. Anyway, she is now so tired she could die. But she didn't know. After she fell asleep, Bye-Bye secretly snuggled into her arms, his little face affectionately nuzzled against Mother's warm, large hand. Little Third was furious. Betrayal. This is blatant betrayal by his brother. In the middle of the night, River was woken up by a big urge to pee. After taking care of it, she observed Little Third by the moonlight. But what she didn't know was, because of the original owner's previous erratic temperament, actually, the two little ones had woken up long ago. Little Third grew more and more nervous under her gaze. The bad woman looking at him like this in the middle of the night. What does she want to do? Suddenly, River chuckled. This naughty kid is the most mischievous, full of prickles, just like a hedgehog. Who would have thought he could be such a cute little one when asleep? So she tiptoed to the mirror, then gently picked Zixie up from the floor. Little Third's heart pounded wildly. Not good. The bad woman is going to throw him away. The one she hates the most is indeed him. Indeed, no one would ever truly like him. Then suddenly, warmth enveloped his body. He was actually tucked into a toasty warm bed. With a poof, Little Third's face flushed bright red. This won't do. Not only did she not throw him away, she even carried him to the bed. But he hadn't bathed at all. He was filthy all over. He had even looked today. The animal skins on the bed were so clean. For a moment, Little Third's heart was tangled to the extreme. On one hand, he couldn't bear to part with this kind of warm happiness. On the other hand, he was a bit disgusted by his own stinkiness. When River got up in the morning, only the fourth child, Bye-Bye, was in the cave with a face full of worry. Where are your brothers, good little one? Third brother went to the river to bathe. But that doesn't make sense. Yesterday, he wouldn't take a hot bath. Yet he specifically goes to take a cold bath early in the morning. By the way, why does your face suddenly look so bad? Mother, I might be done for. After I'm gone, Mother, will you forget me? River was quite frightened by these words, and hurriedly pressed the good little one for details on what was wrong. Then a bizarre scene appeared. The little one took her hand, winding this way and that, finally arriving before a pile of poop. Mother, there are little bugs in my stinky poop. I'm about to be done for, Mother. The girl finally understood what had happened. In the beast world, everyone eats raw meat and drinks unboiled water. So it's quite common to have some parasites or something inside the body. If a male beastman can cultivate to the strength of a green crystal, then the body can resist the erosion of the bugs. On the other hand, if a weak cub gets the bug disease, they most likely won't live to adulthood. Woo-woo, Mother. I waited so long for you to be possessed. I really don't want to die, woo-woo. What the hell is being possessed? But before River could ask, suddenly, a Chunabu-like child's voice exploded in her ears. Bad female, you let Bye-Bye go. I knew you were up to no good. I won't let you succeed. It was Little Third, who had just finished bathing, but saw Bye-Bye being bullied by the female, whimpering and groaning. Third brother, stop it quickly. Mother didn't bully me at all. I'm the one who got the bug disease. Little Third jumped 2 meters high again. What? Quick, let's go find the witch doctor for treatment. While passing through the village, several males pointed and whispered about River, and there were even a few bold ones who actively came up to be attentive. Although River had tried her best to make herself look ugly, compared to the previous smelly armored warrior, such a female could barely be accepted. However, what disappointed River still happened. The witch doctor had no way to treat the bug disease at all. Please think of another way, witch doctor. No matter how many beast skins, it's not a problem. It's not that I don't want to treat it. Worm disease has always been an incurable illness across the entire continent. At least until today, there have been no precedents of it being cured. If you don't want your cub to die, then help him raise his strength to green crystal as soon as possible. The family of 3 was feeling somewhat low on their way home. But then a burly beastman suddenly stepped forward. "Oh, exquisitely beautiful little female. Can I go home with you and have cubs?" "Get lost." River was already in a bad mood. Hearing such blunt, animal-like words, she didn't even have the mind to look at the other party. Little Fourth turned back, somewhat puzzled, to look again. That male who was courting Mother just now seemed to be the tribe's #1 warrior, Tiger. Little Third, however, was somewhat angry. Although he felt he didn't like this bad female, he also didn't want her to have cubs with other males in the future. The already silent family of 3 fell even more silent. River carefully recalled knowledge from her student days. Modern times had long solved the issue of roundworms. She only vaguely remembered there was a plant that could expel parasites. What was it again? That's right. It's pumpkin seeds. So she immediately gestured to the 2 cubs. "Have you ever seen this kind of plant?" This is where Little Third Pie's role became evident. "I saw it when I was catching fish downstream by the creek." Sure enough, the beastman here simply didn't understand that pumpkins could be eaten. Several orange-yellow large pumpkins were clearly already ripe. After returning home, she immediately took out the melon seeds, dried them over the fire and ground them into powder with a stone pestle. A coconut bowl was filled to the brim. While Little Third was still worried about whether it was poisonous or not, Little Fourth had already tilted his head back and gulped it down glug. Then the girl filled 2 more bowls, one for herself to drink, one handed to the suspicious-looking Pipixie. "Listen up, you 2. We might have stomachaches later, and many little worms will be expelled from our bodies. But these are all normal phenomena. After we drink it for a while, it will be fine." In the following days, inside and outside, the cave was simply a battlefield of explosions. After River's own stomach stopped hurting, she was responsible for fetching water to wash the 2 little ones' bottoms. This time, even Little Third didn't resist, because he smelled absolutely terrible. Gradually, the 2 little ones became full of confidence. It seemed to really work. They wouldn't have to die. Mother really cured their illness. And River came up with a more reliable plan. That was to plant pumpkins in the yard outside the cave. Not to mention that pumpkins themselves are treasures where every part is useful. The key point is they are extremely easy to grow. Just scatter a handful of seeds and a large patch will sprout. Later, the family of 3 went to the downstream area again. They carried home all the pumpkins, whether green or yellow. The cave they lived in was originally very remote. After clearing a small patch of wasteland to start cultivating, the pumpkin seeds were evenly sown. Bad female. Is this considered a success, then? Can they really grow into big golden pumpkins? Hearing this, the corners of the girl's lips almost curled up to the sky. Not to mention that pumpkins are already extremely easy crops to grow. You should know that one of her talents is also plant-based. So, under the utterly shocked gazes of the 2 little ones, the just buried seeds quickly took root and sprouted. In a short moment, one by one, the green pumpkin buds completed their color fading, and even the larger ones had already reached the stage of full maturity. The 2 brothers, Shi and Bei, opened their mouths wide. For a moment, they stammered and couldn't even speak. "You 2 must keep it a secret, okay? This is Mother's biggest secret. Mother only told you to, okay?" Rarely, the 2 little ones nodded with serious and earnest faces. This was absolutely the top priority in their little family. In the following days, River opened up another large area of wasteland outside, and planted all the potatoes and sweet potatoes as well. Then, using snake scales, she cut some bamboo to make a fence, enclosing a large area outside the cave. Within it, there will be more vegetables to plant in the future. It's also necessary to stake out the territory in advance. After finishing the meal that day, She took the two little ones outside again to collect some dry grass. What do you want this dry grass for? Call me mother. Pai Pai she, are you starting to act up again? What's so great about that? I don't care to know at all. Suddenly, Pipixie remembered. A few days ago, the bad female had them weave a mattress out of licorice grass. Could it be that the bad female doesn't want them to sleep on the bed again? So she's going to make each of them a mat to lay on the ground. These past few days sleeping with mother have been absolutely blissful. I never thought the bad female would reveal her true nature so quickly. Indeed, snake beastmen are inherently unloved by mother. River gave Pipixie, who was sulking, a strange look. This kid must be imagining something weird again, right? After weaving an entire grass mat, the girl found two beast fangs and nailed them on either side of the cave entrance. Then she used grass rope to hang the entire grass mat over the cave entrance. This is called a grass curtain. From now on, lift it open during the day. At night, when ventilation isn't needed, lower it. Children, do you understand? I nodded excitedly. Mother is simply the most beautiful and intelligent female. Then why didn't you do this before? Little Third suddenly spoke up coldly and asked. The previous mother not only acted somewhat crazily, but also frequently beat or scolded them for no reason. Dark, bad, ugly, and insane. Yet the few of them still had no choice but to rely on mother. Until she personally sold off big brother and second brother. Only then did the cubs completely lose hope in her. No answer. River held two cubs and slowly walked back into the cave. She didn't know how to answer. Could it be that I have to say your mother is already dead? Some things can only be said, not done. She would work hard to gradually soothe their wounds, to make the cubs genuinely and completely fall in love with her. At night, Pipixie slept on the ground in the corner of the cave again. No matter how much River called him, he remained unmoved. He actually really liked the warmth of the female mother's embrace. But just thinking of his two older brothers who were sold off, he would feel ashamed of his own betrayal. The next day, River woke up feeling a bit surprised. The two cubs were actually waiting obediently for him to get up. Not bad. Kids, you're making very good progress. The girl pulled the cubs into her arms, wildly petting and snuggling them. I enjoyed it immensely. Pipixie still wore that rebellious expression, but he wasn't as resistant to physical contact as before. After making some simple food, the girl got busy again. The pumpkin seeds dried yesterday needed to be ground into powder today. Just 1 or 2 more days of drinking it, and the parasites in their bodies should be pretty much cleared out. Suddenly, Bai blushed a little shyly. Mother, can you give me a little more of your medicine? River was about to press for details, when he suddenly thought of the strange behavior of the two little ones these past few days. They often carried some food out. A possibility occurred to him. That was the eldest, Dong Dong, and the second, Nanan. After the original owner sold off, the two brothers, Dong and Nan, they had not been living very well. It was only with the support of my two younger brothers that I managed to barely survive. So he chose to keep his mouth shut and not ask. Found some leaves, divided the powder into 4 portions, corresponding to Dong Dong and Nanan's 2-day dosage, then used a large leaf to wrap a big piece of steamed pumpkin, and pack some dried meat before letting the two little ones go out. The two little ones walked past caves of various sizes along the way. Inside, all sorts of strange sounds could be heard. Sometimes when the lighting was good, they could even see a group of males and 1 female fighting inside. Among the 17 females in the entire tribe, 16 caves were like this. In this way, the original owner was actually better than these people. At least he didn't mess around, right? The two little ones' destination was Beery's cave. The little bear who stole the red fruit the other day is from her family. Since Beery's relatives were killed by stray snake beasts, she has always wanted to buy snake cubs from River. Her purpose, of course, is to bully and abuse them. During the time they were sold to Beery's family, the two brothers, Dong Dong and Nanan, hardly ate anything. They were forced to work every day and only barely survived thanks to the support of their two younger brothers. In the beast world, slaves have no dignity at all. Bye-bye, you say this is medicine prepared by that bad female. Dong Dong pushed the coconut bowl away with a cold face. Then I'd rather be eaten by insects than drink it. Bye-bye was extremely anxious. Big brother, believe me, this medicine can really save lives. As for the second brother, Nanan, he looked coldly to the side. His attitude clearly meant he shared the same opinion as the eldest. When giving birth to several cubs, the original owner's body was not well. The second brother has been unable to speak since birth. Pipixie finally showed rare seriousness. We obtained this medicine with great difficulty. Big brother, second brother, please listen to our advice. Otherwise, your stomachs will be in great pain. But the two older brothers seemed determined. No matter how they tried to persuade them, they remained unmoved. Helpless, Bye-bye had no choice but to give up. Big brother, second brother, this food has nothing to do with that bad female. You must have been hungry for a long time, right? The two brothers immediately began to devour the food. The steamed pumpkin was sweet and fragrant. This is clearly made by the two younger brothers. A bad female couldn't possibly make such delicious food. By the way, big brother, your hands are all broken. Is that bad? Female Beery still making you work? How could she possibly let us off? She even wants us to go hunting with her next time. On what grounds? You're still just cubs. Hunting is something only adult males should do. On the grounds that we are cold-blooded snake beastmen. They even said they want us to attract the attention of fierce beasts. The faces of Zixi and Bye-bye instantly turned ashen. Sending young cubs to attract fierce beasts. That is undoubtedly sending them to their deaths. Just then, Beery actually walked over. She immediately spotted the two little ones who were furious. Well, if it isn't the two remaining cubs from the river family. I say, Dong Dong and Nanan, you two are also useless. Always thinking about relying on your poor relatives from the past to help you out. How about this? I'll buy you two as well. That way you four brothers can be together again. Beery, stop talking nonsense. As long as I'm here, you can't bully us brothers. The third brother was the first to jump out and point at Beery. But he was too weak. The 300-pound Beery swatted him away with a light slap. Bye-bye was about to charge forward, but was blocked by several tall and burly males. A bunch of adult males bullying cubs. I'm going to report you to the village chief. The tribe has always given preferential treatment to underage cubs. Hearing this, several males also felt a bit guilty and uncertain whether to continue. What are you spacing out for? Hurry up and catch these disobedient snake cubs for me. The commotion here finally caught the attention of Bernai nearby. Last time, although she had a conflict with River, upon reflection, she realized it was indeed her fault. She had prejudicently wronged the two cubs. Moreover, seeing the frail River bravely protecting the cubs, she also gained a new perspective of River. A few minutes later, a series of hurried footsteps mixed with panting. River, something bad has happened. Your cubs and Beery's group have started fighting. After saying this, Bernai felt relieved, thinking she had finally repaid her apology from last time. By the time River arrived, over a dozen males were ganging up on her snake cubs. River anxiously pushed aside several males and squeezed in. Have you males no shame? Ganging up on a few cubs only a few years old. River, you came just in time. Beery leisurely took out 2 decent pieces of fur. I'll buy your other 2 cubs as well. These 2 furs are your payment. Drop dead, you fat bitch. I won't sell a single one of my cubs. And I'll tell you this. Today not just here to take Northwest back. I'm taking Southeast and the other one with me too. Beery was almost exploding with anger at the words, fat woman. You ugly, tiny female. Being fat is a symbol of health, do you understand? Are you jealous of me? I would rather die than let myself become like you. Why don't you look in the mirror? Right now, you're just a lump of greasy fat. I'm not angry at all. You're just jealous that I have more males. With just a wave of my hand, a whole bunch of males pursue me. And you? Not a single male in the entire tribe has any interest in you. How do you know I don't have males? Can't you see the snake-shaped totem on my body? You have many males, yet you only have 4 cubs. I have only 1 male and also 4 cubs. So from what angle can you prove that you're better than me? After these words, all the males present changed their expressions. Indeed, when compared this way, Biri has so many males enjoying themselves night after night, yet she still can't produce any more cubs. Biri noticed the change in the male's expressions. With a quick turn of her eyes, she immediately came up with an idea. River, don't think I don't know. You also dislike snake beastman cubs, don't you? If you like other cubs, go find other males. I'll help you teach these snake cubs a lesson. Shut up. I can't be bothered wasting words on you, lump of fat. Anyway, today I'm taking all 4 cubs back with me. Biri was furious. Stop talking nonsense here. Dong and Nanan are already my slaves. Take them away. Don't even think about it. Then how can you prove they are your slaves? How can I prove it? Have you forgotten we carved words on the wooden board? I forgot. I don't remember. Who can prove I carved words back then? Biri was truly furious this time. Never expected to encounter such a scoundrel. You wait. I'll go get it to show you. The moment little Bay saw his mother appear, his eyes instantly welled up with tears. Mother really came to protect them. Watching his mother confront and argue with that bad female, he felt as if he were in a dream, everything unreal. Mother, you came. Little Third was already accustomed to it. But Dong and Nanan instantly furrowed their brows tightly. Third, what's wrong with you? This bad female sold me and second brother. Such a person doesn't deserve to be called mother by us. However, River completely acted as if she didn't hear such words. In a moment, mother will personally come to take you home. For a moment, the 4 little cubs had varied expressions. Little Bay's small face turned pale, then paler. In the end, he couldn't help but show concern. Mother, don't go. It's very dangerous. We're used to being beaten. Even though the cubs weren't born by her, the girl still felt a heart-wrenching pain. What made these little cubs say they were used to being beaten? These people really deserve to die. Biri, carrying the wooden plaque contract, had just rushed back. And so River staring at him with a cold, piercing gaze. That kind of indifference made her uncontrollably shiver. It must be an illusion. What danger could such a frail little female pose? Remember this, little one. In the beast world, only strong females are popular. Someone as ugly and small as you. Only unwanted, wandering snake beasts would form a partnership with you. River remained cold and unresponsive. As soon as she had entered the cave earlier, she saw a small bag of pure white salt placed in the corner. While Biri was talking to himself, she silently stored it away in her space. The most valuable resource in the beast world is salt. After bullying her own cub, how could he not pay some price? Ugly female, do you see this? This is the slave certificate you wrote back then. River took it and saw that it really was. So, was the original host mentally unsound or something? How could she be so heartless as to sell her own biological cub? Your cub is my slave. This is something you can never deny for your entire life. Upon hearing this, the girl silently activated her natural power. Biri, can't you read? How is this a slave contract? This is clearly my cub's work contract. For a moment, Biri felt somewhat panicked. But then he thought, it's impossible. The ugly female's fingerprint is right there on it. Take a good look. I only agreed to let Dongdong and Nanan work for you for 10 days. The compensation is the 2 animal skins you originally gave me. Now, the time has already exceeded by a lot. Shouldn't you compensate me with 2 more animal skins? She just used wood-type powers to change a few words on it. Don't think it's just a few words. The meaning expressed is completely different now. This is impossible. I clearly remember it was a slave contract. I know. It's you, this ugly female, causing trouble again, isn't it? It must be you. Beery, in a fit of anger, crushed the wooden sign into powder. River glanced at the wooden sign with some regret. It already contained a trace of wood essence. If it hadn't been destroyed by Beery, it might have even revived and sprouted again. You all, kill her for me. Daring to mock me. I will make this female pay the price. Just as River was about to pull out a gun to fight back. Stop. An aged voice came from outside the cave. It was the village chief and the witch doctor who had rushed over upon hearing the news. What is it that has you two females making such a fuss? It's like this, village chief. Earlier, I signed a work contract with Beery, but when the time came, Beery didn't want to return my cubs. She even said that contract was a slave contract. Now, I came to demand my cubs, and not only does she refuse to give them, she even wants these males to kill me. She's just bullying me because I have no male to protect me. Beery is really about to explode. Her chest heaved up and down like bellows. She wanted to defend herself, but the evidence had just been destroyed by her own hands. Beery, why don't you return River's cubs to him? Village chief, River has already accepted my animal hides. What we signed was a slave contract. It was never any work contract. The village chief frowned and thought for a moment. I know why you insist on having River's cubs. Your favorite mate was killed by a wandering snake, beastman. But that wasn't the fault of a few cubs. No matter what, you should still return the cubs to River. Beery also knew she was probably going to lose today. But just as she was about to relent, Mistress, something terrible has happened. All the salt in our cave has disappeared. Salt is too precious in the beast realm. Adult males can still replenish salt through beast blood. But cubs and females must consume salt. Losing the salt that was so hard to accumulate would be a heavy blow to any family. It's you again, River. Village chief, hurry and arrest the thief. She's the one who stole our family's salt. River had just been thinking no one noticed. But it didn't matter anyway. After all, she stored it in her space where no one could find it. Beery. Accusing someone requires evidence. Which eye of yours saw me steal it? Maybe your own males stole it themselves. Stop talking nonsense. My males are each and every one loyal. None of them would betray me. That's not certain. After all, you've only had cubs with one male. No one knows what the other males are thinking. Beery jumped up and down in anger. Village chief, can you do something about this? She definitely stole my family's things. Search her. You'll definitely find them on her. The 4 cubs were also full of concern. Especially good little Bay. He tried to rush forward several times, but was stopped by the 3rd little one. River, if you have nothing to hide, then let us search you. Of course, you can. But if the things aren't on me, then you'll compensate me with 2 animal hides. And apologize to me sincerely. Fine, let's do it. Anyway, you're the one who stole my family's salt. Let's see what explanation you have left. However, as soon as Beery got close to River, River took a few steps back. Seeing this, Beery's eyes lit up. You're guilty after all, aren't you? Why should I be guilty? I just don't want to be searched by such disgusting fat meat. After saying that, she turned to the respected witch doctor. Witch doctor, could I trouble you? Everyone trusts your credibility. Anyway, the things are hidden in the space. That's how confident I am. Sure enough, after seeing that River had no salt on her, Beery had a look of utter disbelief. This is impossible. Beery, I told you, having too many males isn't a good thing. Only giving birth to one child. Wouldn't others be jealous? I'm just doing this out of kindness. Who would believe you have good intentions? It was all you're doing, wasn't it? Where on earth did you hide the salt? With so many people here as witnesses. In the end, Beery still didn't manage to weasel out of handing over the animal hide. River, you just wait. I'll find the evidence sooner or later." Before leaving, the witch doctor suddenly came over to give instructions. "The cubs have all suffered quite serious injuries. The other 3 will recover with some rest and care. But Dongdong's arm was broken before and didn't heal properly. It's highly likely it will never fully recover. Also, his leg was broken by a male during the fight just now. This snake cub is probably completely crippled." As a thank you, River gave the 2 animal hides she had just obtained to the witch doctor. If not for his reminder, the cubs probably would have banded together and not told her. Not far away, Bye-Bye looked somewhat moved. "Brothers, don't laugh at me when I say this. I once saw this scene in a dream. Mother would rush to protect us without regard for herself. She would be unreservedly good to us. I feel like I'm really seeing it now." After repeatedly thanking them, River finally hurried over. This was the first time she carefully observed the 2 cubs. Dongdong looks like a very steady little cub, while Nanan appears somewhat cold and aloof, even though their faces and bodies are filthy. But it's not hard to see, they are all very beautiful babies. Babies. Mother is here to take you home.